welcome to this week's CresTV. My guest today is Anthony Fickler. He's the director at Respiro, looking at security and IT infrastructure. Welcome, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Thanks for the opportunity for the chat.
Yeah, good to have you along. How did you get into this crazy industry?
I suppose it started with a computer science degree, and then after that started working with integrators and started our own company. Started the company 12 years ago with my business partner. We were working together in a state utility, doing a lot of firewalling and networking, and that just transitioned into creating our own company and providing similar services to other industries out there. We now do work for New South Wales government, banking and finance, utilities. So it's been really good.
12 years, you've kind of seen a lot come and go, huh?
We have. So, I think the biggest thing that's happened, I suppose, the big shake-up has been things moving to the cloud. But from that has been just the convergence from systems that used to be dedicated and standalone are now using IP backbones. Everything's connecting. Systems are being shared within the enterprise, and typically AV is the same thing now. It's no longer this little isolated black box that would get delivered with specialists looking after it. Certain components of it are now part of the enterprise network, and you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it has changed a lot. So you're essentially on these projects in charge of you're the IT project manager. Essentially, you're in charge of all that, right? And there's a lot of AV integrators watching this today. So what boxes do they need to tick to really, hit the mark?
They need to understand that AV is just another ecosystem that's living on the corporate network. It has specialist components that these guys need to look after. There's still analog things, microphones, etc. But the backhaul's all IP. Enterprises don't want to duplicate infrastructure or systems. And AV now needs to utilise those systems to make it more and more efficient and easier for end users to use. Things like DHCP, DNS, authentication, how the system's going to be used. Office 365 now, things are changing drastically, and they can't just turn up, implement a solution and walk away. They need to ask the right questions of the security teams and the network architects and the server guys to find out exactly what they can use or what they need to bring to the solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you seen some issues in the past that people should actively try to clean up?
Absolutely. I think the big thing's the identity and trying to get that one-touch experience for staff. And to get the one-touch for staff to work is they need to be able to integrate with back-end systems. So old-school integrators, I think, still have that mentality where they can turn up and test a video conferencing solution by just pressing a button, doing point-to-point. That's not how it works anymore. You know that. It's all about Office 365. It's Microsoft Teams. It's interop and that. And I think they need to understand the bigger picture, not just their little ecosystem that they're engaged to deliver.
All right, so from your view, where has AV and UC progressed, and where do you want to see it go?
Look, I think it's progressed like a lot of other things. It's going to the cloud. You're going to have endpoints, but you're going to have cloud management and visibility. Take for instance Teams. I've got customers now, such as DPI. We've just turned Skype for Business. We've turned Skype for Business off and gone to Microsoft Teams. And it opens up a lot of different challenges, right? And from an AV integrator's point of view, you need to know that the core component is living in Microsoft Azure, and it's not something that would traditionally be able to be turned on like they'll traditionally turn on VC. And the beauty of that is obviously it's software as a service. So new functionality gets delivered without you really knowing. It just suddenly turns up, which is quite exciting.
Absolutely. So from your experience on site, where would you like to see AV solutions progress to make it all easier?
We talk a lot in the IT industry about AI, artificial intelligence. What would be absolutely fantastic is self-healing. You have rooms that have synthetic transactions go through at night. If something's broken, it tries to recover or it alerts you. Nothing worse than having staff turn up next morning, room's not working, they lodge a ticket with the help desk. That would be fantastic.
Sounds like a great segue into Crestron's XIO Cloud. But we're out of time. So thank you, Anthony, for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you again for the next edition of CresTV.